Namaste. Today we are going to discuss the genesis of compulsiveness, or roughly what you can say sin. What is it that makes us commit something in life which we will only regret later? Many times a person's wrong actions are not coming from a very conscious source. He has conditioned himself in such a way he can only function like that at that particular moment of time. So this compulsiveness, you are being compelled to perform a particular action by your wrong conditioning, by the wrong sanskars you have built into yourself. How does this happen? So there is no better book than Gita to give you a solid insight into this, the workings of your own mind. And that is why the cycle of compulsiveness, the genesis of sin, we will discuss from the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, Arjun asks this question to Krishna. What is it that impels a man towards committing wrong? Why does he do it? Knowing very well it is wrong, knowing very well the consequences, why does he do it? Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichchanapi vashneya baladiva niyojitaha. That is the question Arjun puts to Krishna. He says, what is it that impels a man towards sin? And baladiva, as if by force, he is being pushed into it. And he can't restrain himself. So then Krishna gives the answer. And please see this carefully. He says, Kama esha, krodha esha, rajo guna samudbhavaha, mahashano mahapapma, vidhena miha vairinam. Kam, Krodh, these are part of the Shadripus, isn't it? The 6 enemies of man. These are responsible for all the sins. They are born of Rajas. Kam is strong desire, lust. Krodh is anger. They are born of Rajas. And Mahashano Mahapapma, they are responsible for great evil here on earth. And know these to be your enemies here. So understanding an enemy as an enemy, that itself is a big thing. And bringing about a state of mind, cleansing the mind from these, this is so very important for a really good life. Good life does not mean just raising the quality of your material life. It means bringing your mind into a state where it will be happy by itself. A clean conscience gives you more joy than all the joy of material objects and all the joys of even the philosophies. A clean conscience. This comes only when the mind is completely purged of these Shadripus, Kama, Krodha, Mada, Lobha, Moha, Matsarya, the 6 enemies of man. Kama is desire, Krodh is anger, Mad, pride, Lobh is asking for more and more and more, no end to it, greed. Moha is delusion. And Matsarya is jealousy. So unless one is rid of this, one will fall into their grip again and again. And this is what results in compulsive action. You are being compelled, as it were, by these Shadripus to perform a particular action, the consequences of which are going to be very negative. So although you know the thing is evil, the thing is wrong, you will go into it. If these forces are working very actively in your psyche. So take care of this, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna. That is why mind management, mind training, creating the right sanskars, mental impressions become so very important for a good and great life. Not just the collection of objects around you. In fact, the warning given by Krishna is very strong. He says at one point to Arjun, Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha Kama, Krodha, Tatha, Lobha, Tasmad, Etat, Trayam, Tyajet. This Kam, Krodha and Lobh, lust, anger and greed, they are gateways to hell. They will give you a hell of an experience right here. If you don't restrain them, if you don't practice some amount of self-discipline. So understand this, and they remove all knowledge. This shloka also is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Avritam jnanametena jnanino nitya vairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha. They cover up all knowledge. That is the nature of desire. The more the desire, the lesser the knowledge. The more the knowledge, the lesser the desire. When you are able to restrain this force within you and convert it into high-level energy of awareness, then naturally knowledge will grow in you. And as long it is spent in lower things, in chasing objects, it's a depletion of vital energy. And where does this reside? Where does karma reside? See, the entire sequence has been so beautifully put in the Bhagavad Gita. The next shloka says, Indriyani manobuddhi asyadhishtanam uchyate. The senses and the mind and the buddhi, the intelligence, all of these can be tinged with this calm, desire. And as a result of that, they start functioning outward, chasing objects rather than understanding and remaining satisfied within themselves. Tasmat tvam indriyani adav niyamya bharatarshaba. That is why first and foremost, restrain your senses a bit. All the time if they are chasing sense objects and all sorts of vulgar objects, your mind will become like that. It will get tinged with that. See, the steps are very simple. Understand the impact of your senses on your mind. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, that is impacting, creating the vrittis of your mind. That is why ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi. This comes even in the Chandogya Upanishad. Whatever ahar means not just what you eat through all the senses. That is ahar. Whatever you take in, aharati, iti ahara, that is ahar. So if you are taking in through the senses only good stuff, the mind will remain pure. If the senses are exposed to all sorts of things, and today there's no dearth of that, then the mind will change its very nature. So take care of this. Indriyani manobuddhi asyadhishtanam uchyate tasmatvam indriyani adav niyamya bharatarshaba. That's why control your senses. That's the first step. Papmanam prajahi henam jnana vijnana nashanam. Knowing that this sense impact on your mind will result in ignorance and destroy your knowledge, corrupt your intelligence. So, control the senses. This is elementary education. What are we talking when we talk of education? The instilling of sanskars for the good life, for the noble life, that should be education, isn't it? So, this is essentially part of our spiritual heritage. Please understand that how to keep a clean mind. I told you a clean conscience will give you more joy than all the joys which the material world can offer you. So see how you can bring that about. It all starts with sense control and mind control. Then again, the natural question is how to conquer the passions. If I discipline myself in this way, finally what does it come to? So the Bhagavad Gita points out to this also. Krishna says it is perfectly possible to conquer the passions. Why? Because indriyani paranyahu indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhi yo buddhe paratastu saha. Because the superior to your senses is your mind, which means the mind can control the senses. And superior to your mind is your intelligence, your higher intellect. That means that can control, if you fix your will, it will control the mind. And there is something higher than even that, which is the real you. The Atman, the power of the immortal soul within you can control all of these. So your mind, your intelligence and your senses, all of them can be controlled. This is the sequence. The mind is higher than the senses. The intellect is higher than the mind. Fix your intellect towards the good. This is what is called Shreyas. When you fix your intelligence on the good things in life and deliberately leave out the nonsense of life, then you are moving on the path of Shreyas. And remember, behind the mind also, behind this higher intelligence is the soul, which is the purest of the pure, the most glorious thing about you. That is the real you. So by the power of your awareness, control all of these. You are perfectly capable of it, the Gita says. And if you do not take charge of this, then the sequence also of what will happen if you don't do this, that is also pointed out in the Gita. That is a very beautiful verse which I would like to quote to you here. It is you can say, the sequence of fall in human life. How does it take place? Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sanghasteshopajayate. Just hear the shlokas first. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sanghasteshopajayate, sanghat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho bijayate, krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smritir bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. This is the sequence of fall, of compulsiveness in human life. The compulsive cycle begins like this. How? Dhyayato vishayan pumsa. When man starts literally meditating only on sense objects, attachment to them grows. Sangha, it leads to attachment, sangha. Sanghat sanjayate kama. From attachment starts desire. You start desiring that object, however unreal it may be. However, it may be, it is not possible to bring it into your life. Still, it will start desiring that. Because this is the power of your senses. Whatever they get attached to, they will generate desire. Something very unrealistic, but happening in your life. Then, when you don't get that object of desire, it will result in krodh. So, desire, kamat krodho bijayate. From desire arises anger. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. From anger comes delusion. You have no clarity in your understanding anymore. You are simply attached to the object, that is all. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. It leads to a total corruption of your memory. This kind of delusive understanding. So you in a sense forget all the good you have experienced, the evil you have learned. You forget the Bhagavad Gita and you will plunge headlong into just bringing that object into your life, experiencing the object. Smriti vibhramaha, it will result. Smritir bhramshat buddhinasho. From this slip in memory, it will result in total destruction of your intelligence. And buddhinashat pranashyati. As a result, you will destroy yourself. When your buddhi is not aligned to reality, to the truth about something, to rhythm, the sheer harmony of life, when it is not aligned towards goodness, towards nobility, towards purity, it will destroy you. Your own intelligence will destroy you. So, buddhi nashat pranashyati. This is how you will go and perform the wrong action and incur sin. You fall into evil ways. So, you see, the entire sequence of fall has been traced. Why? You did not allow initially your senses to be controlled by your mind. Your mind was more powerful than the senses, but you didn't allow it. You gave a free rein to the senses. So it corrupted your mind, it corrupted your intelligence, and this sequence, you went into this. So you see, the entire thing has been pointed out by the Bhagavad Gita. It is for us to become alert and aware of these facts. Take it straight from the scriptures. You see, that is why the scriptures are like a mother. As a mother advises her son only that which is good for him, because he is part of her. So also the Bhagavad Gita is showing us what is good for you. What is that which will bring you down, which will put you into the compulsive cycle. So take charge. It is warning us. It is showing us the ways. You can see this example in almost anything in your life. See, many of my students tell me, why is it that we can't get up early, Mataji? We try so much, but we are not able to do it. Why is it happening? You see, the will is there, but you don't have sanskars enough to support that will. So, just if I momentarily will, that will not do. I must have the sanskars to support that will. Then I will not follow this compulsive cycle. Otherwise, it will only result in impulse and action based on my past memories, based on my past sanskars. So I will just follow what my senses tell me. So I must have the sanskars for the good life, the deep-rooted impressions that give me the power, the orientation required for my will to remain stable. Otherwise, the will start changing directions. You make a sankalp, you decide at night you will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock, the alarm rings, but you will switch it off. Or you will put the snooze button. After that, you will put it off. And you will get up only at 7 o'clock. If the sanskars are not there. So all of this sequence, you see, finally, it amounts to the power and strength of the impressions you have put into your subconscious. Again, what is the gateway? What is the way for those impressions to be formed? It is your conscious thoughts and your sense intake. Whatever you take in through the senses, whatever you consume as it were from the outer world, that generates vrittis in your mind. Isn't it? We have studied this many times. When vrittis are repeated, thoughts are repeated, conscious thoughts, they go into your subconscious and become sanskars, deep-rooted impressions. So that's the power you hold within your subconscious mind, which will direct your memories, the course of your actions, all of this. So unless we have the sanskars for the good life, our life will, even if we will it momentarily, it may not turn out to be like that. So take care of this. See, this entire sequence of sanskar, desire, and impulse and action, I have depicted in a slide for you to understand it better. See, at the source is the sanskar. It guides your memories. It alone unfolds as memory actually. And from your memories will arise your impulses and thus your actions. So if you have never got up early in the morning at any time, some students actually tell me that, Mataji, but for you, we wouldn't have seen Suryodaya. We wouldn't have seen sunrise. So that habit is not there. So when you don't have any sanskar, your memory will function only according to the sanskars it has. So the impulse will be to put down your alarm and go back to sleep. That will be the action. But if you have generated the sanskars, and this you again generate how? By proper conscious thought. Again and again repeating this, the determination you have made. Again and again. See, the gateway to the subconscious, please remember, is only the conscious mind. There, if you again and again will rightly and live by your will, the necessary sanskars will get created. It will become your memory. Your impulse will be quite different. That is the time when nature is at its peaceful best. So you can utilize those periods so productively, so effectively. So then your action will be quite different. Everything is based on this. That is why the message of the Bhagavad Gita, you can say, is break this cycle of compulsiveness between desire, impulse and action. By changing the nature of your mind, your sanskars. And you will live the really good, fruitful life, a life of fulfillment and satisfaction. And not keep going in this cycle of compulsiveness and remain frustrated and depressed. It's all in your hands. That is why the very powerful message of the Bhagavad Gita, Uddharet Atmana Atmanam, Na Atmanam Avasadayet. You must raise yourself by yourself and not lower yourself by yourself. Because you are your own best friend or you are your own worst enemy. This is the great message of the Bhagavad Gita. If you have trained your senses and mind through your higher intellect and the power of your soul, you will remain your best friend. And if you have left them untrained and to chance and accidental things happening, your life will be only accidental. It will be only by chance that it will be impulsive basically. And you will only go through these cycles again and again. So then you become your own enemy. Your intelligence works against you. So take the whole thing into your hands. That's the message. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.